When I was diagnosed with profound sensory neural hearing loss, a condition caused by permanently damaged nerves, the thought that has been banging out like a drum in my head broke out. I would never be able to speak or hear like a normal person. Hi, my name is Malsawmi. I would be telling you a very different story had I not been born deaf. But when you're born different, you are marked out from others whether you want it or not. When I was 4 years old, my friends started school. It took my mom a long time to make up her mind about my schooling. She could not risk me getting unwanted attention because I was different, but she was equally concerned of me not getting education at all. So I joined school, but to my embarrassment, I became the center of unwanted attention, receiving nothing but curious looks of surprise, pity, scorn. One day, a lady I had never seen before came to our house and spoke for a long time with Mom. That visit changed my life forever. I was sent to school again within days of that visit, only this time things were completely different. My schoolmates were no longer healthy kids who stared. Each was a child who was in one way or another marked with a mental dysfunction. They acted in all sorts of weird ways you cannot begin to imagine. For this was the Gilead Special School, a special institution run by the Spastic Society of Mizoram that looks after children with various disabilities. At first, I could not understand why I should be spending my days with them, and I would often get scared at school. However, as each emotionally grueling day got over, things got better, and within months, I was in love with my school. It has been 19 years now, and I know I have come a long way and learned many things. Among them, the ability to encourage Mom when she's feeling low because of me. I know that optimism helps a long way in fighting one's way out. I am fortunate I have her. And now I also have a purpose and a school to go to every day like every normal kid. My friend Rintangi comes by so we can walk to school together. Like me, she is a hearing impaired, but hers is an even more acute limitation because I can at least notice a faint sound wave when sound is created nearby. It's always fun to meet up with friends at school, and we loiter around the entrance before entering our school building, catching up and enjoying each other's companies. The school begins with a morning prayer at 9:30 in the main building, and every child instinctively knows when it's time to assemble for our morning prayers. It is always amazing to see everyone turn grave and solemn for the prayers, even though we can be so difficult at times. After we seek God's presence in our day, we are divided into two main groups depending on each of our abilities and limitations. Those with more fundamental limitations are housed in the lower building, while the Vocational Training Center, which I attend, is located in the upper floor. Here we are taught sewing on machines and embroidery. It has been quite a while since I was introduced to the art, and I get by fairly now. But I remember how terribly I messed up the first time I tried my hand at it. I know how hard my teachers worked in getting me to understand what I was supposed to do. But their patient efforts have worked, and over time, the day comes when every trainee finally learns the tricks of the trade. Apart from our vocational training, we also learn to read and write at the Vocational Academic. Of these two, writing has taken me less time to get used to, and I have successfully learned the English and Mizo alphabet. But combining alphabets to make meaningful words always remains a challenging task. We are taught English, Mizo, math and general knowledge by teachers who are always patient with us. As I read texts, I encounter hundreds of words that are so new they do not even make sense to me. And it still is a struggle to get my notes and tone right. But I'm moving on, and having homework keeps me in touch with what I learn every day at school. After about 5 hours at the center, we stand round in a circle for our evening prayer, with which the school day ends. Like everyone else who loves to unwind after a day's work, I enjoy walking home with my friends. We understand each other and we can share our jokes and stories without the need to worry about whether we would look weird or out of place to the others.
이거 그때나 tuy thuộc cái to ấy bị lâu thì chi là buổi sao
In the evening, I love to unwind with my sisters playing badminton in our small lawn outside. They and my brother have always been so supportive, and I'm so glad they can all hear and talk normally. I try to be a worthy elder sister to each of them, though many times they are the ones who show courage when I despair, humor me when I feel low, keeping my spirits up just by spending time with me. Tonight, I'm out practicing the best-known Mizo traditional dance, the Tsero, for an important event that's coming up. I'm always exhilarated by a sense of achievement, knowing I can do this, and people are often stunned that a girl with profound hearing loss manages to dance the beautiful Tsero. Back at school, my friends and I chat like all teenage girls, apparently unaware of our surroundings. But it often crosses my mind what others who are not used to seeing us might be thinking when they see us gesticulating so vigorously. Watching such a scene would need some getting used to, and on the best of days, the thought brings a smile to my face. We also love watching pictures in magazines. While most people would read them, we get by watching magazines and have great fun doing so. We have been assigned a special task. A group of students have come to our school as part of their study on communication with the hearing impaired, and our teacher has requested us to volunteer as human models for their study. I was so nervous, and I know my friends were too. It's never easy sitting in front of people, and I was afraid I would end up as a laughing stock. But we ended up just fine, and it was back to our normal tasks after that.
Ser Thum Rong Pathum Ser 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 Thum Rong 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 ar kan soi rem ren kan lei hian kan tama hol tiro kha kha it lei kha it tama hol ani ti han sha ti tu
Every one of us is provided with a midday meal at school, and lunch breaks are always a fun time for all of us. It is our practice to take turns saying grace before we sit down for our meals, and we are all taught to be truly grateful for the food we have. I take my sewing practice very seriously, and one of the things I will always be grateful for is the opportunity I have been given to learn a trade. It is a skill that will last me a lifetime, something I can depend on for my livelihood, a skill I can call my own, no matter how far behind my limitations make me in other fields of learning. I take it seriously, but I am not afraid to make mistakes either. My teacher is always there to correct me, with a smile and a forgiving heart. There could not be a better place for me to be. The one day of the year the entire school looks forward to is the Handicapped Sunday.
Malsawmi,
Fill us with the light, oh, fill us with the light of day. Like a joyful Lord, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of power. Light it up like you are loving Lord. Just let it go. Let the go inside. Get on your feet. Just got to believe. I believe.
As with other activities, I don't shy away from physical sports either. It is especially fun when I am part of a team and we can cheer each other on. When my school participated in the special school sports, I had so much fun. I was part of the tug-of-war team, but we lost to our very first opponents. Our boys did better, and they won one game. But we just did not have enough points. We came last. But we enjoyed ourselves so much, we felt we were even bigger than the winners. It helps to have good friends and well-wishers who don't treat me any different just because I can't hear or speak to them. Like the time I danced with friends at Taptarkud, the biggest Mizo festival, I felt like a princess that day, swaying hand in hand with a local pop star, a chance many girls would gladly trade places for. And the times my feet are firmly planted on the ground, I try to keep up with my schoolwork, knowing how weak my challenges have made me. It's hard sometimes, but I push myself, for the reality of my dreams is a path I can only walk alone. My grandpa smiles at me, for he knows I try. He's been ill for some time now, and it makes me happy to know that what I do matters so much to him. One of the questions I've had all my life is to understand how exactly my ears are damaged, and a hope I've often been afraid to hold is to hear and talk normally. The last time my ears were checked was when a group of Australian doctors had come to town, perhaps 10 years ago. In the course of filming this story, I got to meet an audiologist who gave me a new reason to hope. The audiologist, Mafeli, confirms that my inability was profound, but she was quite surprised to note that I could hear all the frequencies, low, mid and high, because these were essential for speech. This gave her reason to think that with programmable hearing aid in both ears that could reduce background noise and emphasize speech sounds, I would be able to hear and reproduce speech sounds. She told me my eardrums were okay and that there was no conductive loss, but that a problem in my inner ear made it impossible for speech sounds to be transmitted to the brain. She even spoke to me of the possibility of acquiring a standard hearing aid and speech therapy. Those were words that gave new meaning to my life. And it was in the brightest of moods that I went in for a makeover with my hair at a nearby beauty salon. I had never dared to style my hair in any way, but today things were different. The new look seemed to me the perfect way to express the new hope that had been born inside. Being part of a church that gives me an opportunity to do my bit has helped. It is impossible for me to take part in all the youth activities in church because there are certain things I cannot do for obvious reasons. But in things that I can, I am never left out, and it is an honor to be able to serve in capacities however small they seem. And collecting offerings at church services is a privilege I hold close to my heart. I sometimes think it is easier to count your blessings when you're sure of what you do not have. And my family is a blessing I'm thankful for every day. My grandpa, old and sick as he has been for some time, had to finally be admitted to the hospital. It hurt to see my lifelong hero so weak, struggling to hold on for everyone's sake, and I like to think, especially for me. He passed away 2 weeks after his hospital admission. We all miss him so much, but his life has been one of my greatest gifts. There are questions that continue to haunt me. There are struggles that will remain. But I am no longer the helpless child I once was. I now have a skill I can develop and opportunities I can boldly take chances on. The school has been a saving grace for me. It has taught me that life, even for someone like me, is what you make of it. Even if I could speak, there will not be words enough to thank my teachers and the staff here, my friends and family, and a world that welcomes me. And as I sit and think, I look forward to the hearing aid and the speech therapy sessions that just might change my life. It has been 19 years now, and I know I have come a long way and learned many things. Among them, the ability to encourage Mom when she's feeling low because of me. I know that optimism helps a long way in fighting one's way out. I am fortunate I have her. And now I also have a purpose and a school to go to every day like every normal kid. Hi, my name is Malsawmi. I would be telling you a very different story had I not been born deaf. But when you're born different, you are marked out from others whether you want it or not. When I was 4 years old, my friends started school. It took my mom a long time to make up her mind about my schooling. She could not risk me getting unwanted attention because I was different, but she was equally concerned of me not getting education at all. So I joined school, but to my embarrassment, I became the center of unwanted attention, receiving nothing but curious looks of surprise, pity, scorn. One day, a lady I had never seen before came to our house and spoke for a long time with Mom. That visit changed my life forever. I was sent to school again within days of that visit, only this time things were completely different. When I was diagnosed with profound sensory neural hearing loss, a condition caused by permanently damaged nerves, The thought that has been banging out like a drum in my head broke out. I would never be able to speak or hear like a normal person. My schoolmates were no longer healthy kids who stared. Each was a child who was in one way or another marked with a mental dysfunction. They acted in all sorts of weird ways you cannot begin to imagine. For this was the Gilead Special School, a special institution run by the Spastic Society of Mizoram that looks after children with various disabilities. At first, I could not understand why I should be spending my days with them, and I would often get scared at school. However, as each emotionally grueling day got over, things got better, and within months, I was in love with my school.